Hi everybody, Keith Crago from Web Dev by the Bay. Last Saturday I created a new theme component. I'm using the new experimental feature components in Microsoft Power Apps. And this week I added some more functionality to it. I added a button to allow the user to save their preferences to their device. I also added another button so that if the user is in an Azure Active Directory security group, they'll be able to save their preferences to SharePoint. If they're not in the security group, then they won't even see the button. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's get started. That was kind of cheesy, wasn't it? What you see here on my screen is my developer tenant for portal.azure.com. Now it might be set up different in your situation. Your IT department may be the only ones who can create a security group. What you see here are my security groups. The one that I will show in the demo will be branding security group, but I'm going to walk you through how to set that up. Let's create a new group. You can choose security or Office 365. I chose security. And I will just give this a random name and a random group. Now I'm not going to create it. I'm going to use the other one that I showed you previously. But in my case, I can only do the assign membership, meaning that I have to manually enter the information. Normally with a security group, you would set up a bunch of criteria to automatically create or automatically add people to the membership based on their location, their country, their job function, their title, their department, what have you. But in my developer tenant, I only have assigned, so I have to create all the information myself. So let's get out of that. I will go over here to the branding security group, and you can see that I am the only person in this group right now. Now you will need, if you go to properties, you will need this object ID. And I'll show you why a little bit later. Stay tuned for the next clip. Alright, so now we have a security group created in Azure Active Directory. We've added a user. And now I'm back in Power Apps. And before I get into this, why don't I show you the demo coming from my iPad. Let's cue that up right now. So I'm going to start Power Apps here. I have my iPad projecting up onto my screen here, and I'm using QuickTime Player to record on my screen. So let's launch Power Apps. Give it a second or two. And let's launch the component library here. Not sure why that green bar stays on there. You have to touch it to turn it off. Okay, I want to change a couple of colors. The header's not connected to save to device. This blue bar up here at the top, the header component, that background color is coming from SharePoint. Now you see that I have saved to SharePoint button. That's because I'm in the security group. And I'll show you how to test that here. But first, I'm going to save the blue. I'm going to change that to let's go cayenne. Cyan, how do you pronounce that? And I will save these settings to SharePoint. And there's my header component that's changed. Now I'm going to show you I'm going to go into offline mode. And in offline mode, I don't need to check to see if the user has access to SharePoint, because if they're offline, they can't even get to SharePoint Online. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about. So let's go into airplane mode, and then let's go back to Power Apps, and launch the application one more time. And you'll see the save to SharePoint is not even visible. It's not there anymore. So let's turn this back on. Let's take us out of airplane mode. And we will go back in here. We will need to, oh, it's automatically going out. And there we go. Okay, why didn't let's refresh one more time. And launch the app once more. Get rid of that green bar there. And we should see the Save to SharePoint button. So we're back in Power Apps, and I am in the main screen of the application, and I'm going to the App on Start property. And what I do first, I load the save theme. If there's anything on the device, I load that first. Then I determine if we are online or offline by using the connection.connected function. And then I set an online variable to either true or false based on that. And here is where we need that security group object ID. And I'm creating a collection. And I'm putting in that collection the return value of the Office 365 Groups connector. You'll need to add that connector to your Power App. Let's bring that over. You'll need to add this Office 365 Groups connector. Okay. A little diversion there. Sorry about that. Let's go back to our OnStart property. We're loading our branding security group collection. And this, in the list group members function of the Office 365 groups, we pass our object ID, our security group object ID from Active Directory. Okay, and then I need to do a comparison of the current user to find out if they're in this collection. Okay, so I am using for this one, I'm using the Office 365 users connector, and I'm specifically targeting the My Profile function and the display name of the My Profile function. And I then use that to compare to see if that name is in my branding security group collection. If it is, I set SharePoint access to true, and or if it's not, I set it to false. Now I need both the SharePoint access variable and the online variable to set the visibility of this button and the label. If both are true, then we have access to SharePoint and the person has the permission to access SharePoint. If either one are false or both are false, then there's no access, and these will not be shown at all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you want to see more videos, please subscribe, hit the notification bell down below. Once I get confirmation that my blog series on the Power Apps community blog has been posted to public side, I'll let you know. I'll put that link into the show notes as well. I'll post the URL to my other video down below. So thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.